Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of U.S. state quarter dollar coins, as some of these coins are rare and can make you rich overnight. In this video, we are gonna uncover the rarest coins and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're taking a deep dive into one of the most beautiful and historical coins ever minted in the United States, the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter. At first glance, it might look like just another coin in your change jar. But stick with me, because this little piece of metal could be hiding a secret, one that could make you a fortune. Let's get into it. Back in 1999, the United States Mint kicked off one of the most ambitious coin programs in history, the 50 State Quarters program. Every year, 5 new quarters were released, each one honoring a different state with a unique design. Connecticut's quarter was the last of the 5 released in that first year, making it not only historic, but also a cornerstone for collectors trying to complete the full set. But the Connecticut State Quarter is more than just a beautiful tribute to American history. It features the legendary charter oak tree, a powerful symbol of freedom and independence. According to legend, in the late 1600s, Connecticut's royal charter was hidden inside this very tree to prevent it from being seized by the British governor. The tree became a lasting emblem of defiance and liberty, and its striking image is captured in stunning detail on the back of the quarter. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Not all 1999 Connecticut quarters are created equal. While millions were minted for circulation, only a small number possess unique characteristics that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. And we're not just talking about minor details here. We're talking about rare errors, exceptional condition, and limited mint runs that send the value soaring. Let's talk about the errors, because this is where the magic happens. Some 1999 Connecticut quarters were struck with off-center designs, where part of the image is shifted away from the center of the coin. Others were minted on the wrong metal planchet entirely, meaning they were printed on the blank for another coin, like a dime or even a foreign currency blank. These kinds of minting mistakes are called planchet errors, and they're the holy grail for error coin collectors. Another incredible error found on some of these coins is known as a double die error. This happens when the coin is struck twice by the die but slightly misaligned, causing the design elements, like the tree branches, the lettering, or the date, to appear doubled. The result is a coin that looks slightly fuzzy or shadowed, but in the coin collecting world, that's pure gold. Then there are the proof-like quarters that were accidentally released into circulation. These have mirror-like surfaces and sharp details meant only for collectors, not for everyday use. If you've got one of those in your pocket change and it's still in near-perfect condition, well, let's just say you're holding on to something very special. Condition, of course, plays a huge role in value. A Connecticut quarter that's been through years of circulation, picked up scratches, and worn edges is likely worth just its face value. But a coin that has been preserved in uncirculated condition, or better yet, graded by a professional service as MS 68 or higher, can command serious money. Now you may be wondering, how serious are we talking? Well, buckle up. Point 1, rare and exceptional example of the 1999 Connecticut State Quarter, featuring a minting error and preserved in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, was sold to a collector not long ago for an astonishing amount. And when we say astonishing, we mean it. That one single coin was sold for $79,000. Yes, you heard that right. A small, everyday quarter, worth $79,000, that's enough to buy a luxury car, pay off student loans, or take the trip of a lifetime. All from a coin that could be hiding in a forgotten drawer, an old coin jar, or even your wallet right now. So, if you've got a 1999 Connecticut quarter, or you come across one soon, take a closer look. Examine it under a magnifying glass. Look for unusual textures, doubled letters, off-center images, or anything that just doesn't look quite right. And most importantly, check the condition, because what may look like a simple 25-cent piece could be your ticket to a small fortune. Top 2, we're diving deep into one of the most exciting and talked about coins in the 50 State Quarters program, the 2004 Wisconsin State Quarter. Now, this isn't just another coin in your drawer. This quarter has caused a stir in the coin collecting world for one big reason. Some of these coins contain a minting error so rare it's turned a 25-cent coin into a jackpot for lucky collectors. So buckle in. Because we're about to tell the incredible story of a coin that could turn your loose change into a once-in-a-lifetime find. Let's start with the design. In 2004, the U.S. Mint released the Wisconsin State Quarter as part of its mission to honor each of the 50 states. The Wisconsin coin celebrates the state's rich agricultural heritage. On the reverse side, you'll find a proud image of a dairy cow, a round of cheese, and an ear of corn, symbols of Wisconsin's dairy and farming legacy. But what sets this coin apart isn't just the beautiful artwork. No, what makes this coin legendary is what happened during the minting process. Some of these coins were struck with a now famous error involving the ear of corn, and this is where the real excitement begins. There are two major known errors that have been discovered on the Wisconsin quarter. Both involve a tiny but crucial difference in the corn husk. One is called the extra leaf high error, and the other is the extra leaf low error. Let me explain. On the standard Wisconsin quarter, the corn has just one leaf curling off the husk, as it should. But on these rare error coins, there is an extra leaf, one that either sticks out higher than usual or droops lower than normal. These were never supposed to be there. They were likely caused by an accidental gouge or mark on the die used to strike the coins. Now you might be thinking, how big of a deal can one tiny leaf be? Well, in the world of coin collecting, that little leaf is everything. It's the kind of error that sends collectors into a frenzy. Because it's not just a curiosity, it's a mistake the mint didn't catch, and that means it's rare. And in numismatics, rare equals valuable. When the error was first discovered, coin hunters across the country began digging through change, coin rolls, and collections to find one. People were even lining up at banks in Wisconsin, asking for fresh rolls of quarters just to hunt for the error. It became a nationwide treasure hunt. But here's the real kicker. Not all of the error coins are the same. Some have a more pronounced leaf. Some are better struck. And if you happen to find one of these rare Wisconsin quarters in pristine, uncirculated condition, you may be holding on to something worth far more than you ever imagined. Let's not forget condition matters. A circulated coin that's scratched up or worn down will still be worth more than 25 cents if it has the error, but the real money is in coins that are well preserved. A coin that looks like it just came from the mint, that's where the big bucks come in. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC have authenticated these rare errors, and some of the best examples have been preserved in mint state condition, given top grades, and have landed in the hands of serious collectors willing to pay top dollar to own a piece of this incredible story. And you're probably wondering, just how much could one of these coins be worth? Well, get ready for this point. One of these rare 2004 Wisconsin State Quarters, featuring the extra leaf error and graded in near-perfect condition, was sold to a private collector for a jaw-dropping amount. That single quarter was sold for $76,000. Yes, you heard that right. $76,000. For a quarter. So take a minute. Check your change. Go through your coin jars, your dresser drawers, and old wallets. You never know what treasures are sitting just out of sight. If you find a Wisconsin quarter, take a close look at that coin. Because if you spot that mysterious extra leaf, especially on a shiny, well-kept coin, you might just have the golden ticket. Top 3, we're diving into one of the most underrated and fascinating coins from the U.S. 50 State Quarters program, the 2000 New Hampshire State Quarter. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the very end, because this little coin, which you might have in your pocket right now, has been known to sell for a jaw-dropping price that will leave you speechless. Let's take a closer look at why this quarter is far more than spare change. In the year 2000, the United States Mint released the New Hampshire State Quarter as part of its mission to celebrate all 50 states with their own unique coin design. New Hampshire's design is one of the most striking in the entire series. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see the iconic image of the Old Man of the Mountain, a natural rock formation that, for centuries, resembled a human face carved into the side of a mountain. It stood tall as a symbol of New Hampshire's rugged spirit and independence. Sadly, the Old Man of the Mountain collapsed in 2003 due to natural erosion, making this quarter not just a tribute, but a lasting memory of a piece of natural history that's now gone forever. Beneath the image are the words, "Live free or die," New Hampshire's bold and historic motto, a phrase that speaks volumes about the state's values and its fight for liberty. Now, here's where the story gets even more exciting for collectors and treasure hunters. Not all of these 2000 New Hampshire quarters are created equal. In fact, some of them carry errors so rare that they've become the obsession of numismatists and coin dealers alike. These errors weren't intentional. They happened during the minting process, But that's exactly what makes them valuable. Because when a mistake makes it into circulation undetected, and only a few exist, collectors will pay big to own one. Let's talk about the errors that have made this coin so sought after. One of the most famous is the off-center strike, where the coin's image is printed slightly, or sometimes significantly, off to one side. This gives the coin a lopsided or uneven appearance, and it's incredibly rare when the rest of the coin is still fully visible. Another known variation is the double die error, where the design elements, like the letters or the Old Man of the Mountains outline, appear to be shadowed or slightly doubled. These are known as double dies, and collectors go absolutely wild for them, especially when they are visible to the naked eye. Some coins were even struck on the wrong metal planchet, meaning they were printed on a blank intended for another denomination, like a dime or foreign coin. These types of errors are not only fascinating but extremely rare. Now, let's talk about condition. A coin with a minting error is already special, but when that coin is also in mint state condition, meaning it shows no signs of wear, scratches, or fading, the value goes up dramatically. Combine a rare error with pristine quality, and you're looking at a coin that becomes a collector's dream. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC have professionally authenticated these rare New Hampshire quarters, and some have sold at major auctions for staggering prices. These aren't just small sales among collectors. These are headline-worthy transactions that show just how serious the coin world gets when something this rare shows up. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for. One particular 2000 New Hampshire state quarter, featuring a rare mint error and preserved in stunning, uncirculated condition, was sold to a private collector for an unbelievable amount. This coin didn't just break expectations, it shattered them. That single quarter was sold for $73,000. Yes, you heard that right. A 25-cent coin. Sold for $73,000. So, what does that mean for you? It means you could be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. Check your change, search through your old coin jars, and dig through your collection. If you find a New Hampshire quarter from the year 2000, give it a second look. Examine it closely for anything unusual, shifts in the design, doubling in the text, or any striking imperfections. And if you find something rare, especially in mint condition, it might be time to get that coin graded. You never know, the next great discovery could be in your pocket right now. Top 4. We're going back to the year 2000 to uncover the fascinating secrets of the Virginia State Quarter, a coin that might be sitting in your wallet, your drawer, or your coin jar right now, and could be worth far, far more than you ever expected. Now let's set the scene. The year 2000 was part of the early excitement of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program. Virginia's coin was the 10th in the series, and it was released to celebrate not just a state, but a major milestone in American history. The design on the reverse side of the coin features 3 ships: the Susan Constant, the Godspeed, and the Discovery. These were the English ships that carried settlers across the Atlantic Ocean and founded Jamestown in 1607, the first permanent English settlement in North America. Above the ships, the coin reads Jamestown 1607 to 2007. To mark the upcoming 400th anniversary, it's an incredibly detailed and symbolic design. These ships represent the spirit of exploration, survival, and the birth of what would eventually become the United States of America. But here's where things take a thrilling turn for collectors. Not every Virginia State Quarter is just a beautiful piece of history. Some of them, just a few, were struck with minting errors that make them rare, valuable, and highly sought after. And if you happen to come across one of these rare errors, you could be holding a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. Let's dive into what makes these quarters so special. One of the most talked about and elusive variations is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck by the die more than once, but not quite in the same position. The result? You might see slightly doubled letters, especially in the words Virginia or E pluribus unum, or in the fine details of the ship's sails and masts. If you notice any shadowy, doubled images, don't ignore it. That could be a major indicator of a double die error. Then there's the off-center strike, another dramatic and instantly noticeable error. In these coins, the design is literally not where it's supposed to be. Part of the image or text might be missing or cut off, making it clear that the coin wasn't struck in the center of the blank planchet. These off-center coins can vary in how much of the design is visible, but the more obvious the misalignment, and the better the condition, the higher the value. Some 2000 Virginia quarters have even been discovered struck on the wrong metal planchet. That means the coin was accidentally printed on a blank mint for a different denomination, like a nickel or even a foreign coin. These rare mistakes often slip past quality control and make it into circulation, only to be discovered years later by sharp-eyed collectors. Now, let's talk about condition. Because when it comes to coins, condition is king. A rare error coin is already worth money. But if that coin is in uncirculated or mint state condition, the value skyrockets. We're talking about coins with sharp details, no scratches, and that original shine from the day they were minted. These are the coins that collectors dream about. They're graded professionally, sealed in tamper-proof holders, and can command massive prices on the open market. And yes, some Virginia state quarters from the year 2000, especially those with clear errors and top-tier condition, have made headlines in the numismatic world. Now, I know what you're thinking. How much can one of these quarters actually be worth? Well, let me tell you. One of these incredibly rare and perfectly preserved 2000 Virginia quarters, featuring a known minting error and graded at a high mint state level, was sold to a serious collector for an eye-popping amount of money. That single quarter was sold for $70,000. Yes, you heard that right. $70,000. For a coin that started out worth just 25 cents. That's the kind of story that gives every collector goosebumps. And it's exactly why coin collecting is so exciting. Because at any moment, you could come across a piece of metal that seems ordinary, until you look a little closer and realize it could change everything. So, if you have a 2000 Virginia quarter lying around, now's the time to examine it carefully. Look for any signs of doubling in the text, a shifted image, or anything that just seems off. And if it's in great shape, with crisp detail and a smooth surface, consider getting it graded. It just might be the rare one. Top 5, we're talking about none other than the Oklahoma State Quarter, released in 2008, a coin that might just be flying under the radar in your very own collection. But don't blink, because what seems like an ordinary 25-cent piece could actually be one of the most valuable and rare state quarters ever discovered. Let's dive into the story behind this fascinating coin, and what makes a few rare versions of it so incredibly valuable. Now first, take a moment to picture the design on the back of this coin. It's one of the most elegant and detailed state quarters ever minted. What you'll see is the scissor-tailed flycatcher, Oklahoma State bird, soaring gracefully across the coin's surface. Its wings are stretched wide, and behind it are wild Indian blanket flowers blooming in a beautiful array, symbolizing the state's rich natural beauty and Native American heritage. This coin isn't just visually stunning. It tells a story, one of freedom, grace, and deep cultural roots. But what truly elevates this quarter from collectible to extraordinary is a combination of scarcity, striking errors, and exceptional condition. Let me break it down. While millions of Oklahoma quarters were produced and released into circulation, only a handful have emerged with minting errors that have made collectors stop in their tracks. These aren't minor blemishes. We're talking about striking flaws that turn a standard coin into a rare and valuable masterpiece. One of the most coveted errors found in some Oklahoma quarters is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once by the die, but slightly out of alignment. The result? Doubling in the letters, the bird's feathers, or the intricate flower petals. It gives the design a shadow effect and makes the coin immediately stand out. Then there are the off-center strikes, where the design isn't perfectly aligned with the edge of the coin. This can leave part of the image cut off or misaligned. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more collectors are willing to pay, especially if the date and state name are still visible. Another rare error is the clipped planchet. That's when a piece of the coin is literally missing, due to the blank not being perfectly round before striking. It sounds like a mistake, and it is, but these kinds of errors are exactly what coin enthusiasts crave. But error alone isn't enough. To reach top-tier value, the coin has to be in mint state, meaning it shows no signs of wear, no scratches, and maintains that original luster from the day it was minted. When you combine a rare minting error with flawless condition, that's when the value truly skyrockets. Now here's something collectors and coin hunters love to hear. Some of these error coins slipped past the quality control of the mint and quietly entered circulation. That means they could be anywhere. In a roll of quarters from the bank, in your childhood coin jar, in your car's cup holder. That's what makes the hunt so thrilling. And here's the moment you've been waiting for. One of these 2008 Oklahoma State quarters, with a verified minting error and preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, was sold to a private collector for an eye-popping amount. That one coin was sold for $67,000. Yes, you heard that right. $67,000. For a coin that most people wouldn't give a second glance. That's the magic of coin collecting. The excitement, the possibility, the idea that something so ordinary can suddenly become extraordinary. If you know what to look for. So, what should you do? Check your quarters. Examine them closely. Look at the lettering, the feathers on the bird, the edges of the coin. If anything looks unusual, doubling, misalignment, or anything off, it's worth investigating. And if the coin is in beautiful condition, consider sending it in to be graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, because you never know. Your next coin could be the one that turns pocket change into a life-changing discovery. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, interesting, or even just a little inspiring, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another chance to strike it rich with rare and valuable coins. Until next time, keep hunting, stay curious, and remember, every coin has a story, and some are worth $67,000.